Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's Real Estate Authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb Schlinker is also a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday. And if you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or just go ahead and search Barb on most of the popular podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, and all of the others. So, Barb, what are we going to be covering this weekend?
Well, the first thing is about prices and whether or not they're dropping. What I'm seeing right now in the market is, if you use similar sales to justify an asking price on a home, it's not working. Even if you come a little bit less, it's just crickets. But if you price the home very realistically, you get multiple offers. We just had an open house last weekend way out east. We had 34 people show up. That did not include the head count of the children that were there. So it's all about pricing and positioning the home to get the most money. And of course, we did. The next topic we're going to talk about is what are the new landlord laws right now? The government has been very busy. I think we're turning into California. Some of the rules are absolutely ridiculous, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you some of the new laws that have to do with landlords and tenants. And I think it's going to make a lot of people think twice about being landlords going forward. Also, we're going to talk about the closing cost of selling a home. I get that question very often, how much does it cost? How much is your commission? What do I have to pay? Do I have to pay the buyer's closing cost? So we're going to go into that and deep dive and talk about some of the expenses that could take place when you're selling a home and how you can prepare to win so you get the most money and have the least amount of expenses. And the last thing I'm going to cover are the top seller mistakes that can cause a house not to sell. Believe it or not, there's some critical mistakes that home sellers can make that will actually just stop the buyers in their tracks from picking your home to be on the must-see list. And as always, I love sharing my hot new listings. Richard?
Now, Barb, plenty of people want housing, but with the high pricing of housing and the high interest rates, do you think prices will go up or down? And what is the latest on home prices right here in Colorado right now?
Well, Richard, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but what I'm seeing in this local market is it looks as though the prices are correcting a bit. Things are taking longer to sell. Sellers are having to pay more closing costs. There are more concessions going on. Why is that? Because starting just a few months ago, we had a massive surge of inventory up by 31% as compared to a year ago. And the number of sales are less than a year ago. So it takes a little time, but guess what? It's happening now where we price a home right at what similar sales have contracted for. Crickets. Nobody even wants to come see it. So you have to be positioned to be the best home on the market in all aspects, marketing, presentation, the whole thing. And one of the key factors involved with this is the amount of interest rates. Now, interest rates actually fluctuate every weekday, every business hour, up and down and all around. But typically it stays within about a 0.5% of where it might have been, say, a month ago. We are down from a month ago. When I checked yesterday, it was currently at just 6.9 essentially for a conventional loan. And for a VA, FHA type loan, probably in the mid sixes. So what does that mean for home buyers? It means that home buyers, they really, most of them, especially the first-time home buyers, are buying homes based on what they can afford with payment. If they can't afford the payment, they're not doing it. And so when the interest rates more than doubled from what we saw 2 or 3 years ago, it made the homes unaffordable, yet the prices had zoomed up 40% just before that. So it's kind of a double whammy for buyers, and fewer buyers can afford homes. So the buyers that are winning and getting houses are very smart. I'm very impressed with these young people these days because they're getting together, they're saving money, they're putting huge down payments so that they can afford the payment. So they're just dealing with the market right now, which is I'm very impressed. But we have fewer sales. So what does that mean? Over time, real estate doesn't really change that rapidly. It actually takes months for a trend to really kick in. And sometimes we get surprised and sometimes we don't. But the trends I'm seeing right now, based on the volume of activity on my listings, the homes that are selling, I'm definitely having more sales. There's no question of that. But it's only because the clients are listening to me and pricing their home realistically versus optimistically. If they go way up here, sky in the high, and ask for way more than market value and price it for negotiating room, they're going to fail. I'm sorry, it's just going to sit there. And then as you slowly walk the price down, according to the National Association of Realtors, you're actually going to net less money. And at the same time, you created all this demand destruction because most of the buyer's eyes are on new inventory within the first 10 to 30 days on the market. So you don't want to get that initial number wrong. Otherwise, people won't show up. Inventory is up by 31% as compared to last year at the same time, while sales are basically less than they were a year ago at the same time. So something has to give. And if we don't see the rates come down, I'm afraid that it's the trend is going to be the prices are going to correct just a little bit. And a lot of buyers kind of have stepped out of the market. They're just sitting on the sideline, kind of waiting to see, okay, are the prices going to come down? And maybe their instincts are right. I can't predict the future. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing with the trends of my pending sales or the lack of pending sales on homes that should be under a pending sale right now. And my gut feel is if you don't price it below what similar sales are at right now, particularly by a substantial amount. I'm not talking about 1%. I'm talking about 3 to 6%. You won't even get people coming to look at your home. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And I'm also, Barb has the buyer's team, and I'm also the host of the show, Your Real Estate Voice. And what we're talking about is whether or not home prices are dropping. And next up, we're going to talk about what you can do to be successful in any real estate market. So if you are thinking of making a move, we can help you in any market. The market's not necessarily crashing. It's kind of slowly dipping. There's definitely less demand, but we know how to get them sold. So if you are thinking of selling, we have over 27,940 buyers in waiting just on our website. Typically, we can find at least 700 buyers that are a high match for your home. Plus, we have cash buyers that will make multiple cash offers today. So give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker, host of the program and owner proprietor of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can always reach Barb at 719-301-3900. And we're talking about the impact of rising interest rates and fewer sales. So, Barb, should buyers wait until prices come down?
Well, I think, Richard, it would be a mistake to wait because with many loans, especially the government loans, FHA and VA, you can actually do a refinance at no cost. So if the rates come down, you can just make it, you don't even need an appraisal for those kind of loans. You just do a really quick refinance, boom, you have a lower payment and you get to skip at least one payment. So I wouldn't wait if you find the right home. And that's the key. The buyers are watching. They're like stalking all these homes that are on the market. And if they see the right home, they definitely are jumping on it. We still are having huge crowds at our opens. We're still having multiple offers on the listings where the seller decides to price it very realistically out of the gate. The ones that don't do that and try to go for the most money for quote negotiating room, it just sits there and gets tired on the market. It gets forgotten about, and not by me, but by the buyer population. And then it's not selling. Okay, what are you going to do now? So if you need to sell, you need to price very, very realistically. And really, in the end, a seller is going to get less money if they price it high for negotiating room. I get that you don't want to underprice and worry about, because some people actually think that if they ask a certain price, they must accept it. And that's actually not true. You don't have to accept any offer, no matter where it's priced. But pricing is a form of marketing. And what one of my coaches taught me years ago was, hey, the best way to win when a market is correcting is do what's called lead the market down. I know these are not magical words for a seller's ears. They're probably like, you're crazy, but it works every single time. Every time we do that, and it doesn't take a big amount percentage wise to price it very realistically to get a lot of interest for buyers, because the buyers are looking at the best home they can get right now in their price range. So we can show you how to be the best home and how to price it to be the best home so that you get the most money. Online presentation is absolutely critical. So that has to be great, as well as pricing has to be great. And this is why. What happens is now that everything's available online, they're not just looking at that home and that price. They're looking at other homes around it. They're looking at the neighborhood. This is all being done on their smartphone. They're looking at what other homes have sold for. These buyers probably know more about the market than some real estate agents that I know, because they're paying attention. They're in the market in that price range and looking for the best home for them at the time. So that is why we can show you how to do that. Not everybody knows how to do this. We do property valuations multiple times every week. So we're doing this all the time. We're looking at what the market's doing, and we could sit down and show you and give you a really good idea so you can make great decisions about whether or not you're going to go to a cash offer and get pretty close to full market value, or you're going to go ahead and put it on the market and try and get multiple offers all at once. Give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com and we can help you right away. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the host of the program and the owner broker of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, just call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. A short break. When we come back, we're going to be discussing what are the new landlord laws for 2024 and how they will affect you and others. Stay tuned for that.